I'm Sarah Baggett with the Marketing Department, and welcome to the Travel and Hospitality Podcast. I'm joined today, as always, by Michael Taylor and Andrea Stokes. Welcome, everyone.
Hey.
Well, it's good to see everyone on camera. We've got a lot of exciting news to cover. That's right. The Wizard of Oz, right? The man behind the curtain. Right. We've got a lot of exciting ground to cover today. I want to start out first with a video series that the travel side has launched called What Makes an Airport Great? And Mike, why don't you tell us a little bit about this?
Well, sure. It is going to be a series of videos that we're doing on airports, at the airport itself, just kind of highlighting why a particular airport rises in the J.D. Power rankings, the things that they do, the services they provide, some of the strategies, some of the actual elements of the physical buildings, the physical locations, those kinds of things. The little things that we've learned over the 25 years of studying airports at J.D. Power basically come out in these videos. So the one we're going to show today is Tampa International, and it's the first one in the series.
Hi, I'm Michael Taylor. I'm the practice lead for the airport study at J.D. Power. For the past quarter century, J.D. Power has been looking at what makes airports good, bad, and what people like and dislike about airports. And today, we're at Tampa International to talk about what makes this airport great. Is the answer a flamingo? So one of the critical aspects of passenger satisfaction is actually getting to the airport. And as we can see here in this overhead shot of Tampa, they have a nice, long, winding road that leads up to the airport, which gives people ample time to read signs and directions and get themselves in the correct lane to get to the place where they want to go, whether that might be parking at the terminal, or it might be drop-off or pickup. What makes for a good check-in experience? A good check-in experience basically is self-service these days. People want to have control of their bag. They want to know that it got deposited correctly. And doing it themselves is actually very convenient and adds to airport satisfaction. Efficient wayfinding at the airport is critical to passenger satisfaction. We can see here at Tampa International that the wayfinding is determined by two choices of colors, red or blue, which makes it very easy for the passenger to get to their intended destination. And we can also see the large orange letters designate which terminal the passenger intends to go to. It's very important for an airport to have a sense of place, to give you an idea that you're away from home. Of course, here in Tampa, we're right next to the ocean. They're reinforcing that seashore feel. In today's travel environment, with the hustle and bustle of the passenger volumes that we see at airports, there's a real premium on a sense of calmness. And a lot of that has to do with the physical environment of the airport. And we can see here in the plaza area of Tampa International that the indirect lighting really leads to a sense of calmness for the traveler. What separates a good airport from a great airport? Well, one of the things that we've seen in J.D. Power over the quarter century of studying airports is food, beverage, and retail, especially food and beverage that has a sense of place to it. And here we are at a pirate bar in Tampa where the Buccaneers play football. Unique food and beverage is what separates a good airport from a great airport. One design element of superior airports is the location of food, beverage, and retail in the middle of the concourse, which really opens up the outside walls to let in a lot of natural light. One critical food and beverage item at an airport is coffee. People want coffee. They want coffee all the time. They want coffee at 2 a.m. They want coffee at 2 p.m. So it's important to have a lot of coffee. Coffee, coffee. If there's one question that we find in the J.D. Power research that can substitute for how well people perceive an airport, it is how well is the bathroom perceived? Well, the key idea here is distraction. You can see here that you have very high resolution backlit photographs of various flora and fauna from the Tampa Bay region. This principal distraction helps draw your attention away from things that might be on the floor, such as suspicious liquids or debris, and that's very important to people's satisfaction with the bathroom. The number one thing that people want at the gate is personal device charging. They want to have the charging device right at their seat. What makes for good baggage claim? Speed. Speed is it in baggage claim. That bag has got to be there when a person gets off that flight and is waiting. When we think about what makes this airport great, a few key factors come to mind. Ease of access, a sense of place, comfortable and convenient surroundings, and maybe even a flamingo. To learn more about what elements create a satisfying airport travel experience, visit our website. Flamingo. Is it flamingo? It's got to be flamingo. Okay.
Well, we had a great time in Tampa, really an exemplary airport, and they've won an award from J.D. Power before, correct?
Yes, they've won 2 actually.
Oh, wonderful. Well, you can definitely see from the images in the restrooms, no suspicious liquids or anything like that. Right. You can tell why they would be a customer favorite for sure.
Yeah, they do a lot. As I've said in several podcasts and webcasts and things like that, I don't know if I said it in this video, but you have to do the blocking and tackling in an airport. You kind of have to have, an easy airport to access to actually physically get to it. So you get in the building, you got to go through TSA in a reasonable amount of time. The bathroom has to be clean, which we went through the video, why that's important. And once you get those things done, it's all little things that make a good airport into a great airport. And Tampa International does, as we saw, the things that they do. They bring Florida into the airport. They give you a sense of the place or where you are and the things that make Tampa kind of unusual or different, or things that are associated with Tampa, like the Pirate Bar, the Buccaneer Bar that we were at, where Flamingo, that was just simply right? a Coca-Cola. There's nothing else in it, by the way. Maybe in future podcasts there might be some adult beverages on hand, but you never know.
Well, we are excited to continue that series. I believe we have 2 more airports lined up at least for that. So be on the lookout. If you see us in an airport, come say hello. Andrea, I want to throw it over to you. This has been a very exciting month for the hospitality practice. We have the results of the 2024 North America Guest Satisfaction Index study. Tell us all about it.
Yes, thank you. Very exciting. We have several returning award winners this year in terms of the hotel brands, but we have a couple of brands that are new to the J.D. Power Awards for hotel guest satisfaction. We congratulate those brands. And we have results across industry of, where guests are at in terms of how they feel about their hotel stays, what experiences they had, what did they like, what perhaps didn't they like. I do think there are some concerns by guests around the value that they're getting. Prices are still very high in the hotel industry. And I think in some of the limited service segments, like upper mid-scale economy, guests are just not feeling like they're getting that value for the money. So the scores did decline for those segments year over year. Interestingly, in the higher price segments like luxury and upper upscale hotels, there really aren't declines in customer satisfaction this year. So, it's I think all about that value component. It's about hotels delivering on guest expectations, of course. And there are some bright spots. I would say that food and beverage is definitely an area that didn't decline, even though perhaps satisfaction with guest rooms might have declined, or communications and connectivity, which is another factor that we measure. But food and beverage, I think guests are generally happy, and that's across all segments actually in the hotel industry. So it's a shout out to those food and beverage teams that make sure guests are being fed and getting what they want in terms of the food options, the variety, the menu options, and the beverages, of course. So it's an interesting dichotomy this year, but really happy that we were able to complete the study. And of course, we've already launched our 2025 study. So we are out there 24/7 collecting guest feedback on branded hotel stays in North America.
You mentioned connectivity, and that's a really interesting piece to me. I believe the study is now measuring in-room voice assistant technology and streaming as well, right?
That's absolutely right. We do ask whether the guest had streaming or smart TV available, I should say, so they could watch their streaming services. But we also ask about, voice assistant devices. We ask about being able to control the environment in your guest room via an app, for example. So we more and more, as we update the study every few years, we have been recently focusing on technology, both in-room technology, but also, of course, Wi-Fi is still a staple, I would say. But other communications technologies, including communicating with staff via the app, for example, making requests of the hotel staff via an app. So we're trying to track, all of these things as guests are using these technologies more.
It's exciting to hear that the study is just improving year over year and gathering all of that really in the moment data. That's great.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do actually have information on EV charging at hotels. So if anyone wants to learn more about that, certainly connect with us. But yes, we are starting to ask guests if they charge their electric vehicle at a hotel. We know a lot of hotel operators and owners are thinking about installing EV chargers in the future. And we have data to kind of back up how satisfied those guests are. And, the data does show that when they have access to EV charging, they are more satisfied with their stay overall.
Interesting.
So that's
really
positive.
That would be a really interesting way to support that investment for sure through that data.
Absolutely.
Well, Mike, Andrea, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been a very informative session. It was great to hear about what makes an airport great and as well to review those 2024 hotel results. If you want to learn more about any of this, please visit jdpower.com and check out the travel and hospitality site. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next month.